Coming up on today's show, could Saquon Barkley be traded from the New York Football Giants, and what are the top destinations for the Giants running back? Also, a fire sale in Denver as that team is dramatically falling apart. Who could be headed where? And Mecole Hardman seems like he just showed up in New York. He already might be gone. We'll explain more what's going on in that situation in a matter of moments. Before we do, a little challenge out there for our NFL fans. Do you want your team to win this weekend? Go ahead and like today's video if you want your team to win. Look, here's the deal. I have a list of everybody that likes the show and everybody who doesn't like the show. And if your team loses because you didn't like today's video, that's on you. That's your fault. Don't jinx it. Don't let it happen. Hit the like button. We'll get started here at NFL Daily. Saquon Barkley, speculation is rampant about his future, if he will remain with the New York Football Giants or if he will get moved with the trade deadline approaching. We all know the Giants are off to a bad start this year. Saquon's had some health concerns. Where could he end up? Bleacher Report's Alex K. weighs in, says the following. Rather than get nothing but a compensatory selection in return for Barkley, the Giants should be working the phones to see what other teams may be willing to offer. Getting a late day 2 pick from a team like the Baltimore Ravens, a club that has Super Bowl dreams, but lost starting running back J.K. Dobbins to a season-ending injury and has gotten mixed results from backups Justice Hill and Gus Edwards in the week since, could be the best path forward. Look, let's be frank. The Giants' season is over at this point. And if we're going to be honest here, although Saquon Barkley has been the face of the franchise for the Giants the last few years, he is a part of their past. He is not a part of their future. And as pointed out from Alex K there, if you let him walk in free agency and don't bring him back, you get that comp pick. It's not terrible, but you're not maximizing the value that you could be getting. You trade him now, let's say you get a second or third round pick, and your season's already over anyway. You're just moving forward the inevitable, essentially, and getting more out of him. Saquon Barkley, a 2-time Pro Bowler, as recently as 2022, was the NFL's Offensive Rookie of the Year back in 2018. And you talk about a resume, holds 5 Giants franchise records and 4 NFL records. He has been very, very good. This year, we mentioned, he's only played in a couple of games because of injuries. But last year was the best season of his career so far, as he was able to manage 1,300 rushing yards, 10 touchdowns, 4.4 yards carry. Whatever team looks to make a deal for Saquon Barkley is hoping to get the version that we saw in 2022. 3 teams in particular come to mind for me that could be in the market for Saquon Barkley. The Baltimore Ravens, as Alex K. mentioned in that Bleacher Report article, are desperate at the running back position. The Buffalo Bills could use some more ball carriers and some more explosive talent. And then the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaiah Pacheco's a solid back, but I think he's realistically a number 2. And we have seen the Chiefs have a history of being aggressive to get Patrick Mahomes weapons. Also, what do all 3 of these teams have in common? They're in the AFC. Look for the Giants, if they're going to move Saquon, to do whatever they can to keep him out of their own conference, and in particular, their division. Will the Giants trade Saquon? Y for yes, N for no. Pin comment today. Hit on the keyboard either that Y button or that N button, and let us know in the comments section below. The fire sale, could it be on in Denver? According to new reports, the Broncos are open to trading both Courtland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy, in addition to none other than Frank Clark, who we found out a couple days ago they were shopping of sorts that they intended to try to trade, and if they don't trade him, that they would release him, similar to what they did with Randy Gregory within the last couple weeks as well. Dan Graziano of ESPN, NFL Insider, gave some insights about what's going on in Broncos country. The Broncos in Sean Payton's first season don't look very good and could use some more picks to kickstart a rebuild. Expect to hear some prominent names in trade speculation out of Denver in the coming weeks. Why are they going this route? I'll explain more in a second. But first, today's show sponsored by Odds Are. Odds Are, a great partner here at Chat Sports. And let's make one thing clear, not a betting app, but Odds Are, its AI technology gives you the bets they recommend you should be making. Because let's face it, folks, luck is not strategy. We don't take your bet. We make you better at bets. Here's all you got to do. Download Odds Are now by going to oddsare.com/NFL Daily. And we are offering NFL Daily viewers a 30-day free trial to check it out and see for yourself. The link is in the comments in the description of today's video, so you can go check it out. And when you're scrolling through Odds Are, you want to look for the green values. Green means go. Red means stay away. The green values indicate those smart bets that Odds Are recommends. That way you can go big this weekend. You can bet on NFL games. The MLB postseason's going on right now. You can check that out as well as other sports. Download Odds Are now. Terms and conditions do apply. Luck is not strategy. Link is in the comments and the description of today's video. Download Odds Are today. Now back to the Denver Broncos. Giving Sean Payton a fresh start, what essentially it does here, as far as the why factor in all this, is it buys Sean Payton time. Because Sean Payton knows there ain't any going back at this point, that the Broncos just are a bad football team and it ain't getting better this year. This season's over. And as far as the buying time side of it goes, not only does it get you ready for another year, a head start on 2024, but also puts you in a position to get the guys that Sean Payton wants in there. And we already know about him and Russell Wilson not being on the same page. But watch out for them to collect more picks, to get younger talent, and to get Sean Payton's guys so he can build this team in the way that he sees best fit. Let's go through some of those trade destinations. Let's start with Frank Clark. His two former teams would be very interested. The Kansas City Chiefs, they wanted Frank Clark. They just didn't necessarily want to pay Frank Clark when he went to free agency last year. The Seattle Seahawks are needing some help in their pass rush. They had 11 sacks against the Giants, but prior to that, pass rush was non-existent. And then the two LA teams, the Rams and the Chargers, they're kind of on the outside looking in right now. Both those teams are, and we know that both of them have help, some decent talent, but they need players to assist the pass rush efforts. That's where Frank Clark can come in. Courtland, Sutton, and Jerry Jeudy, similar situations as far as both of them goes. Think of teams that need receiver help. Tennessee, New England, Carolina, Buffalo. We've heard about Carolina, even though they're 0-5, that they're still trying to build up that core for the long-term play, that they could bring in a guy like Jeudy or Sutton and then extend them and keep them around for a while as far as that goes. So where will Jerry Jeudy end up getting traded to? Go in that comment section. Tell me what you think that final destination will be, or if he just ends up back in Denver. Throw a team in the comment section and let us know. Last on today's show, Mecole Hardman, according to reports, the Giants are evaluating their options for the little-used Mecole Hardman. Mecole Hardman arrived not too long ago, free agency, from the Kansas City Chiefs, and they just haven't used him in this offense. He's been kind of phased out, similar to what we saw the Jets do with Elijah Moore, where you take a decent receiver and he's just not part of your plans, essentially. It's a weird thing going on there with the Jets. We've seen this track record of sorts. Mecole Hardman's not happy about it either. He had this to say about his role in the Jets offense recently. I'm probably the best in the league in space. That's a lot. Maybe the coaches see something different. I'm just waiting for the opportunity to present itself. I think when I was in KC, I proved that I was probably the most dangerous guy on the jet sweep, or whether it be on the end around or on the screen. I think I proved year out that I was the guy that you have to worry about doing that. So that's Mecole Hardman, thinking of himself better than what's the actual reality here. Look, Hardman was never on the same page with Patrick Mahomes. If you go back and watch the film, when those two were playing together, you can see there was times that Patrick Mahomes got Mecole Hardman's face, and he's like, WTF. You were supposed to run this route, and you ran this route. You weren't on the same page. And it was a toxic relationship between those two, and it was Mecole Hardman's fault for the most part. So I'm not surprised that things haven't necessarily gone well with the New York Jets. For me, if you can't play with Patrick Mahomes, why would I want you on my team? Why would you be able to play with anybody if you can't play with the best quarterback in the world right now? I'm out on the idea of bringing in Mecole Hardman if I'm a team for that matter. His stats, playing with Mahomes, might I add you, are not that earth-shattering. This guy was a second-round pick. He had the opportunity to be the guy in Kansas City and just never could get the job done. Personally, the Jets, I understand, they may be shopping Mecole Hardman and all that, but I'm not giving up a damn thing. Not a damn thing for Mecole Hardman. I don't care who you are. There's a lot of receivers out there on the market right now that are looking for new homes. I'm not wasting any breath on trying to bring Mecole Hardman to my team. I don't know how the Jets are going to get rid of him. They might just have to end up cutting him. Do you want your team to trade for Mecole Hardman? Do you really want that? You don't want that. Type T for trade. Type P for pass. Let us know in the comments section. Appreciate you guys joining us here on NFL Daily. Subscribe now for more NFL coverage each and every day right here on the channel. And we'll see you next time.